The Yankee and the Brit. Yes, Yankee and the Brit. One is a genius, the other's a twit. On the radio, the beans have been spliced. The Yankee and the Brit.
Well, good evening, Pebo Wilson. Wildman Pebo Wilson, that is. How are you doing?
I am doing good. How about yourself?
Well, you're sounding a little bit more English, I have to say. I think you've been practicing, have you?
I am trying. I am dropping my jaw down real hard trying to phrase everything right.
Have you been practicing your bloody British?
Oh, I can't go that far. I watched a lot of Western, but I can't catch them Britain and English in there, But
And how are you doing with your P's and your Q's?
Oh, I'm doing okay, It gets gooder all the time.
So I'm taking it you got your P's and Q's all in a row, then?
No, yeah. Keep them in a row all the time.
Okay.
So, Mr. Pebo Wilson, we had a brief chat with you before. We didn't give you the full Yankee and the Brit experience. Will you put that fag out? I swear, I need to breathe tonight.
Give me your forehead.
Get lost. Anyway, back to the person in question. Tell us, where did you get started? How old were you when you got started with your music?
I was 16. Got a little bit of a late start in some, I know. But I got dragged into the honky-tonks at 16-year-old playing lead guitar for a band. And I just found out, well, I can actually make some gas money, go cruising and things like that, So why not,
Ain't you supposed to be chasing girls down at the swimming hole at that age?
Well, it got a little bit more mature girls chasing, so that worked out pretty good, so...
I see where that's going. All right.
Like I said, I was going to say that wasn't that was sort of a good thing went on that. You learn a lot of stuff fast.
How old were you when you started learning to play the guitar?
About 10.
About 10?
Yeah, about 10.
Do you know how to say that in English? Like,
no, that's not like the stuff goes on the roof. We're talking age.
Oh, you did. It sounded like that stuff that gets a little bit rusted on the roof.
Right, on top, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, you're enjoying yourself. Help yourself to all the accent you want.
So you started when you were about 10. Do you write your own music? I mean, your songs, do you write your own music and lyrics? Do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
The very first song that I wrote is on YouTube called Mixed Emotions. That's the very first song that I wrote, and it's on the first original album that I put together.
Wow. And what was it about?
It was actually about a buddy of mine, and having trouble with his girlfriend and things like that, and running around, and I thought, man, I hate to be in his situation. And he kept on and on, and you have to hear it from him every day, on and on.
See, I hate to be in his situation, but I'm glad he's in it because he's given me an idea for a song.
Right. I said, hell, I can just write this out. And I said, I'm going to see if I can put some music to it. And that's what I done.
And that's how you discovered you could do this, then?
Yeah. I thought, well, that was pretty easy. But then I had to get more creative, and then finally, after about 2 or 3 songs, I realized I just need to write about what I've done, everything that I have lived and on, and that's why I stuck with after that.
And do you remember your earliest musical memory? A song that you used to hear when you were really, really tiny, or something like that, or something that your parents used to sing or play? Anything like that. Do you remember what your earliest musical memory is? You would have probably had really, really little tiny legs at that point.
I was very young and I just fixing to start learning. But every Sunday morning, I get woke up to a guitar playing.
A guitar?
And my dad, a guitar. and my dad was playing, and he played this song. I think it's called 097 or something like that. Going down the grade, making 90 miles an hour. Da, 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 da.
Johnny Cash song, ain't it?
I think Johnny Cash did do it.
Yeah.
He did do it, but he played it over and over and over. just get me up. And this is going on like at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you up late. You know, you don't want to go to bed early and stuff and young. And so, you know, usually don't lay down like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I hear that all the time.
He should have known a frying pan does just as good a job.
Yeah, and it was with Folsom Prison, too, and that's happened to be the very first song I learned to play on guitar, was Folsom Prison.
Have you heard his grandson, Thomas Gabriel, yet?
I think I have. It was on I think it was a PBS special. It had, like, a lot of the grandchildren with, I think with Mel Tillis, I think it was, and Bobby Bear, and kids of them. I'm actually working a little bit right now with, we've got a show coming up with, Waylon Jennings' grandson, Way.
Way, oh yeah, we've been hearing about him.
So I'm gonna see how this works out. I don't know him real good personally yet. He had contacted there last week and started setting up a fall show for October, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, maybe good, maybe bad. You don't know till you step in the water. So we'll see.
We just got 3 of his Thomas Gabriel songs sent over to us from, I guess, his manager. But man, are they good, man. First time I heard it, I was like, boy, if that ain't Johnny coming through, boy, that's crazy. And, you know, he gets all fine-tuned. He's going to be bad. He sounds great.
Now, did John Carter produce those tracks?
I don't know. It came from a gentleman called Howard D. Crean. So Howard Dean Crean. So I'm not sure how he's involved, whether he's just a advertising manager or a PR guy or what. But he sent him over, and I was like, I fell off my chair.
That's not a name I've heard.
Well, a lady today did email us back about him coming on the show, Deborah Milliken, and she says she is his publicist. Is that the right word? Publicist.
Publicist.
That's another funny word.
Okay.
How do you say that word, Pebo?
Publicist.
Oh my gosh, you sound almost English. But anyway, she was the lady that contacted us back about him coming on the show. She emailed us back today.
Oh, that's good then. See, you just get more and more coming out to you. You just drag them in. They just attract to you.
Oh yeah,
like flies on poo.
Well, I didn't say that, or nothing.
She will if you don't.
Yeah, she tried to put words in my mouth with you.
So, what is your future plans? You have plans with Way, which he is actually at the Truckin' Bozos bar tonight, according to Brenda in the chat room. He's Dave Summers, who we do make all the cruise shirts for. He's making arrangements for Way to go on one of his cruises with SS Cruises. I don't know when it's going to be, but yeah, it looks like Way is getting his name out there.
Yeah, well, he don't have to do a lot. I think Waylon took care of that. That's the good thing about being the family tradition. You don't have to really build so much. Waylon was awesome. I went and seen Waylon. I seen Waylon when Shooter was playing bongos in his band. That's the last time I got to see Waylon. And
it's a long time ago.
And the thrill of it with Jessie. I mean, his wife is still. I think she's just so underrated as far as a singer. She should get a lot more credit in what she did, and I think the same thing is another one. Like I don't know if you remember or not, Lacey J. Dalton.
Oh yeah, haven't heard that name in years.
And that's another one I think is very underrated. Didn't get the credit she should had, and they're different. You know, they're not this. I don't know. You might get some people mad or not, but a lot of stuff out right now. The girls, all of them, they all looking the same. They all sound the same. There's thousands of them in Nashville coming out. And when I'm producing somebody, I try to explain that to them. You've got to step out of the box. You got to make yourself stand out. And they all think, well, you just put these short little blue jean shorts on and a little top, you know, and fluff your hair up, and bam, you're a superstar. And it just don't work like
some of them it works for.
That was going to be one of my questions tonight. You know, what do you think of the new generation of country stars and the music industry today?
Well, since I've been around a lot of them, like I said, to me, most of it sounds the same, because you got the same producers, you got the same label, they see one thing work, then they try to push everything through the same door.
Yeah, and they just don't fit, do they?
No. You got Carrie Underwood. She's awesome now, but then you got everybody trying to be Carrie Underwood. You've got, well, you had Travis Tritt was probably, to me, the last, or as I call, outlaw music type, you know. And you got everybody trying to push through that same door. And I got a song out. It's called, he calls himself an outlaw, but he doesn't even have a damn tattoo. You know? And it says it all in it. You know, I've never called myself an outlaw, but I have kicked bouncers off stage while the guitar's on fire, while I'm singing the song and performing for a full crowd.
So your guitar really does get on fire?
Oh, yeah. I play it. Anybody can burn one and set it there and let it burn. Woohoo, you know. Get that bitch up and play it while it's burning, you know. I got the keys are melting, dripping, hitting on my foot. And I play barefooted all the time. I've got the flames rolling. I got gunpowder in it. It's a whole redneck mixture that I use for the smoke and the whole. It's got to make the pictures look good too, you know. So everything has to work together. And because I get burnt every time. The people don't know it, but I get burnt every time I play. So I just sort of grit my teeth and just go on.
Yeah, but I bet there's a lot of people that notice that though. They're the ones that see that you're doing that shit for real. You ain't just fooling around.
No, there's no special effects and no pyro. I mean, it's just redneck ingenuity. That's all it is, just flat out. And you know, I haven't had no mishap or anything like that. I keep a couple people standing by with fire extinguisher and towels, put it out, but it has to burn so long before it can be put out. And I try to explain that to some people, and that's the reason I had to kick some bouncers off stage. We played a venue, I think it was Charlotte, North Carolina we played, and I'd set it on fire, and it just lit up, and here come a couple bouncers. They was trying to jump up on the stage. Stage is about 3, almost 4 foot high, and they was trying to jump up on the stage, putting it out. Well, as one of them would come up, I'd put my foot in his chest, push him down. I just keeping him from getting hurt, you know.
Yeah.
And I was going back and forth on stage doing that, and they was mad. They was running their thumbs across their throat there, back to the sound man, hollering, "Cut that friggin' dude off," you know. They just, you know, that. But I done got the words out. The words are done, so I didn't need the PA anymore. The amps was cranking, and the drummer, he was back there hollering, hooping, and screaming. He was having a ball with it as I was kicking him off. And we just kept playing it out. And when I ended that song, that crowd erupted. It went to a standing ovation, and that made them even madder.
So what in the world?
Yeah, baby.
So what in the world made you think, I know what I'll do? I'll set my guitar on fire.
Well, that part of that's my former booking agent's fault. He booked that, and when we got there, it wound up being a battle of the bands. And I thought, and the rest of the bands are all this shoot your mama, kill your dog stuff, you know, that kind of music. You know, you can't understand nothing of it.
I can't understand you. Say that bit again.
I call it this kill your mama, shoot your dog stuff. You know, that's what I call that metal music that you can't understand nothing. All that all that grunge, and the lady, when I walked through the door and I was talking to her playing, she just kept getting smart, you know, just popping off, and I just asked a couple questions, and I said, "Lady," I said, "I know it's no battle of the bands." I said, "Look, we're out here, tour bus, album out, song on the radio." I said, well, this ain't, you know, this ain't fair to these garage bands. And she said, "Well, you're playing first." I said, "I'm going to open up for these bands." And she said, "Yeah." And she kept on. I said, "All right, fine. All right, by God, I will. I'll give you something to really go on about." And that's what I did. Went from there.
It popped into your head that quick, huh?
That quick. I got a temper. So, and I've always, my mama always told me, tell it like it is, and everything will wash itself out.
That's right. That's
the way I've always been, straight up. If somebody's good, I'll tell them. I don't care a bit to tell them. I love a good singer, a good player. You know, I love it. I don't care what style of music. If they're good, I'll definitely tell them. But if there's somebody that can't hold their pitch and all, and arrogant and non-pitching, yeah, please don't ask me. If because you're going to get the truth. I'm not going to be some producer and say, oh, yeah, you're giving me money. Oh, you're great. We take care of this. We got pitch benders. You can make anybody sound like $1 million in the studio, but what are you going to do when you go live?
Yeah, that's right.
So I tell my daughter, she's trying to get into it, and bless her heart, she has some pitch problems, and I explain that to her, and it breaks my heart to have to tell her, but I want her to be truthful with her about it. We can work on it and make her better, but I don't want her to get her false hopes.
That's right. Well, that's the way it ought to be. Tell the truth, because if you don't tell her, somebody else is somewhere down the way.
And they're not always going to be quite as nice about it.
That's it. But I can teach her. See, that's what she's only 17 now, and she can sing. When she was like 10, she could burn it up. But then she hadn't done nothing for 7 years, and it's like she's forgot what she knew. So I've got to get that back out in her.
You think she forgot, or you think that she's gotten older, she's gotten a little, I don't know I don't want to use the word shy, but just doesn't let it all out like when she was carefree and younger and didn't think anything about that?
It's like she don't have the confidence.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably
to really push it to a limit. And
I'm not sure whether girls' voices change in the way that boys' voices changes, because when boys' voices break, they go from the boy to a man, don't they? But obviously girls' voices change too. They go from a child's to a teenager's to a woman. And maybe it could be that. It
could be. It very well could be.
Well, if you're backing it up with all the love you got, hell, that ought to work just fine.
Oh, well, I'd die for her in a heartbeat. That's my baby girl there now. I take care of my son would like to get into the business, but bless his heart, he can't carry a tune in a bucket. he's a good-looking kid. I mean, he'd fit all the profile that they're trying to push right now and all. But the singing, he tries and tries, and
just remind your daughter that one day, honey, I'm going to be sitting out there in that wheelchair at one of your concerts.
There you go. See. That's it.
So, do you consider yourself as an independent artist?
Yes. Well, I have accomplished everything really on my own without any of these independent labels. I can't do any more for you than what you can do for yourself.
That's exactly right.
Unless you get with the 4 major labels who's going to put money behind you. And I tell you, it takes to break a good artist over. And this is coming from the big guys talking to me. It takes $1 million to break an artist over with one single now. Then after that, you've got to maintain that. But there's ways around it nowadays since we have the internet and all that stuff. It can still be done, but you got to build your name up and stand out. You definitely have to stand out.
But how do you do that? I mean, that's not exactly easy in itself, between trying to play music, go out and do shows once you get where you're comfortable doing that. I mean, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and I have worked my tail off. And you think I like getting burnt?
Oh, I hear you.
But I go out, and when I do a show, I played from 5 people to thousands of people, and I have to do it the same every time. I got to bring it every time. When I leave the venue, I got to make sure that when I leave, I'm the one that they're talking about. I want them to get their money's worth. And when they go home and say, wow, did you see that? Did you see what it did right there? And, man, didn't miss a lick. Stayed all in key. Man, I love the songs. I get so much compliments on my songs. And I'm proud of that. And it's even got me where I wrote with a lot of hit songwriters. And I've got to play with bigger bands such as Shenandoah and Sawyer Brown, and I even got to do 3 months opening with Vernon Gosden back in the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And when you got people like that, well, I tell you what, let's put it this way. If you can do a show and when you start your first song and you can bring a 9-time Grammy-winning band off of their bus and stand in front of you for an hour clapping, you're doing something right.
I'm telling you.
And that's what I did when I first met Shenandoah. And I even, and then they started singing about me when they come on stage. and somebody videotaped that and sent it to me, and I put it on my YouTube channel. Put it on there. I said, people won't believe that. I said, I'm going to put that on there just to save it in archives. Just that's more or less what I use YouTube for, because I don't know what's going on. They jerk views off all the time, the ad views. It's just, I don't know, it's just foolish to me, but it's, what can you do,
Well, you said you got to play the same whether it's 5 people or 1,000 people. Those 5 people could be just as important as those 1,000 people,
That's right. Now, I'll tell you a story about my cousin, Chris Wallen, that I write some with. He wrote the song Don't Blink by Kenny Chesney. Okay, before he got his songwriter's deal, he was about started living on the streets. That's right, and he was in a little restaurant playing this acoustic guitar one night just by himself. They wouldn't do it. 2 people in the restaurant. One guy come in eating supper, and he got through eating. He just walked up to Chris and handed him a card, said, "Call me Monday. I've got a publishing deal for you." And that set him right off. Boom, got him hooked right up. He wrote that song, Something to Be Proud Of, Montgomery Gentry. He's wrote I'm Trying by Trace Atkins, People Loving People, Garth Brooks.
Wow.
He's had 9 number 1s so far. He's done real good for himself.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've had the pleasure of writing with him, and I don't know if you guys got it or not. Me and him wrote a song together called Right Through It All.
Yeah, I played it already. Yeah, good tune.
Okay, so me and him wrote that song about things that went on with me and my wife. Car crashes. I took her on a honeymoon, and the mountains, big storms come. They all washed in. I had to pull a survivor night getting her out of there, and they couldn't even get into us. They was people on train tracks across the river spotlighting, trying to see if we was all right, and I just motioned them on. I said, I got this. Go on. I'm a mountain boy. This ain't no big deal. But she is a city girl, so she's panicking pretty good. But she can tell you, since she married me, life has not been boring. There's always something going on.
You fixing to do any more movies or anything?
Yeah, I've got a Western to do. I've got a karate movie to do, and I think one like The Matrix, and then a couple more horror movies we'll be doing.
Horror movies?
Yeah. I'm in one horror movie right now. Well, a thriller. It's called Red Forest. It's out right now.
Yeah, we watched the trailer, I think, or something we watched. I remember you sent us the link for that thing. We checked that out. Pretty cool.
It turned out just fine. I've had some guys from L.A. call me, which it's not a Steven Spielberg movie, but it's just a B movie. But they thought everything went pretty good with it, and I thought I did a fine job. So long as they was all happy, it's just something else on my resume.
Well, you never know. You might need something to fall back on.
Right. Exactly.
Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, of course.
No, it's everything, anything that you can get your name on in the industry, entertainment. All it does is help you. I'm also been on a TV show called Making It in Music City too, and it was just like I said, it was just back scene stuff of when I was in our recording. A couple of songs will be coming out. I ain't even sent them to nobody yet.
You got any serious rules that you live by?
Just I don't like to be lied to. And I just, when we're playing, guys, band members, everybody has their habits, but when we hit that stage, don't be getting out of your head and drunk and stuff before we hit the stage. That's time it's being paid for. They can wait till after the show to do anything like that.
Just like any other job.
That's right. Be professional about it. This ain't down at Joe's Bar and Grill, It ain't none of them days. Those days are over.
Have you ever been starstruck? You've met quite a few different people in your time. Have you ever been starstruck?
Starstruck.
Must be somebody.
Yeah, I would have to give that to Dolly.
Now, where'd you meet Dolly?
Actually, in Dollywood.
Really? She actually goes there, huh?
Yeah, she's got an apartment inside Dollywood, in the upstairs there. She's just like a big breath of fresh air. and just as real as can be. And she just the nicest person that you want to be around. And it's just, it's just, and all the money and stuff that she's made and all the things she's accomplished, she's just like you and me, just down to earth and just joke around and flirtatious and just, you can't help but love her.
But I bet she's flirtatious in that Southern way.
Oh, yeah. We all like that.
Yeah, that's right. You just got to know the difference,
That's it.
A lot of Yankees don't understand how that works, but, I've been down the South enough. I know how that, I know what that's all about.
Yeah, you know how they bloody are, it's just...
How bloody are they?
Brutal, just brutal.
Oh dear.
Does Dolly have a good sense of humor?
Yes, she does. What I've seen, yeah.
Because when I was a kid and used to watch, TV was a big thing when we were kids, especially back in the 60s and all that, when I was little. I'd see her on a lot of country music shows that were on back then. I just always thought she was just the nicest woman, nicest, I don't know how to put it, but I always just thought something was so nice about her compared to a lot of people. And I just always wondered if she really had that, if she really was, had that Southern whole thing going on. Funny, nice, pretty and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to a song called Dolly Parton's Tits by Roy Chubby Brown.
Hey, it's another East Tennessee entertainer. I mean, we got some good ones.
Oh yeah, it used to be, anyways.
So what we do, we've got Van Perry, we've got Kenny Chesney, we got Eny, and you got my new guy, another one of my cousins, Morgan Wallen. Is that right now doing good?
Or you think Nashville will ever quit trying to kick out the bullshit and really get into some real music again?
I think the music is changing. I've talked with a lot of my producers and stuff, and said they're multi-platinum, so they don't believe the music's going to go back to the way it was, the traditional, but they do think it's moving more of real people. You just write what you live in, and just about like things that went with Hank Jr. and Johnny Cash and those guys like that. They're traditional, yes, but what they wrote, they lived it, and that's just what they think is really pushing now.
Well, I don't think you could go back to what it used to be. I mean,
no.
I mean, you can never go back. We have, we're doing mostly independent artists here, and there are some that are so good, and I just can't understand. And this includes you. And well, you know how much I love your Barn Burning song. That thing just kicks my ass when I heard the lyrics and everything. But
I'm about to drive over that cassette and smash it into smithereens.
We just have so many good artists. I can't understand why more aren't getting out there. Even if they become a one-hit wonder, they got some great sounding songs.
Nashville is money.
Well, yeah, but they used to be all about promotion too. What happened to that?
But when you got to build a product. I don't want to do the work no more.
There's the key.
They want you to build you up. You build yourself up. You get your attention. You get the numbers coming to your shows and things like that. This is what happened to me. I didn't get no attention on this until I started getting serious about 3 years ago. And I wished I'd started 10 years ago. But 3 years ago, I really broke down and started doing nothing but my own music and get serious with it. So I started getting more extreme on the shows. So when I went to Nashville, everybody I run into knew me before I even knew what's going on down there. They done heard all about the shows and stuff. Even the guys with the rock bands, it didn't matter what genre, hip-hop, they already knew me, where I'd built my name up and all. So with that, I knew I was doing something right going. And then I decided to just start doing more and more shows and pushing that extreme. And then I got to going, I didn't want to do the same thing and be like a one-trick pony, so I started doing different stuff. And I built my show around, I have cannons, I use caskets, I use, lasers, anything that I can make work in the show, but I don't do the same thing every time.
When you take a show to the next level like that, don't you risk maybe doing the wrong thing or giving the wrong image or something?
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do.
But you were confident enough that you were all right with it.
Oh yeah, I can sit down with a guitar and do a show and feel where I've done it. Gosh, I've done this for 20 years. You know, I've played strip clubs, cat houses, behind chicken wire. I've even honky tonked in church. I had to play at church, and this pastor called me, and he started talking about wanting to play in his church. He said, "This is Pastor so and so," and I thought, "Sir," I said, "You know who you're talking to?" And he said, "You're Pebo Wilson." I said, "Yes, sir. Yeah, that's me." And he said, Yeah, I want you to play. No. Told me the date, and it's like the coming Sunday. And I said, well, what exactly do I play? He said, just like you normally do, just what you usually do. And I'm like, I can't go into church playing, with people sitting down drunk and run off somebody's wife and all that stuff, And I said, you don't go in church to do that. I mean, I'm raised a Southern Baptist. I said, I get struck by lightning. That's what I was worried about. And so he kept on, and I said, so I called the rest of the band, asked them if they'd go honky-tonk in church next weekend, and they thought I was joking. And so here we show up to the church. I kept waiting for that lightning bolt to hit me about any time. I just eased into the doors and stuff and got in. But I know so many songs. I had to really think hard, but I kept it all clean, left any kind of that stuff out. Stayed away from songs and stuff like that, and make sure they dance good, had a good time. And of course, they doubled my pay. They enjoyed it so much, and I said I will never do that. I was so uncomfortable in that situation, but I was confident enough on what I do to get through that and make it sound good. I'm not going to get up in front of a bunch of people and make a fool out of myself. Well, that's not going to happen.
Did the pastor have any words for you when you were done?
No, that's what he doubled our pay.
That's plenty of words right there, isn't it?
Yeah, he was tickled to death, and just pat, and they had us a big dinner, all catered in, real fancy stuff, and they fed us good too. I mean, my steel player, he was in heaven. He said, "Oh yeah," I said, "We need more of these." I said, "No."
Sometimes I think your best times are the unexpected times.
Yeah. We've had them. We've had bomb threats. We got raided in a cat house playing one night, and we got paid for the whole night and only got through 2 songs.
Oh, geez.
And spent the rest of the night in the back of a cop car, handcuffed in it, and But I still don't call myself an outlaw.
What the hell? What the hell they handcuff you for?
They handcuffed the whole band. They handcuffing everybody. You know what? When I say a cat house, you do know I'm talking about cat house.
Oh yeah, but I don't understand.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are up on stage. It ain't like you're up in a room somewhere.
They handcuff everybody from bartenders to occupants. They was laying it to everybody.
There's an experience you won't soon forget.
Oh yeah, and one of I had a drummer who was sitting in with me, and he's actually a big churchgoer, and his wife didn't know where he was playing at. So yeah, we had to explain that one too when he called. So, she wasn't too happy to find he was in the cat house and all, which I took the blame for that for him, So I didn't tell him and all that good old stuff. I lied for him. I hated to, but I didn't want to see him get divorced either.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But saved his marriage.
Well, I gotta ask you about the Barn Burns Down. How did you ever come up with that?
Barn Burns Down is the writer I was talking about, Chris Wallen, my cousin. Now,
don't tell me this is from experience.
Yeah, we grew up together. We ain't but a mile apart in a little town there. It's called White Pine, Tennessee, and that is something. Hey, there's some wild women in our area. They wild and they don't care. And back then, neither did we. So this was one of those things. But he had the song, but nobody didn't want to cut the song. He said first it wouldn't rock and roll enough. Then he said it was too controversial for country, so nobody would do it. And he kept on talking, and I said, "Well, hell," I said, "I'll do the song. I don't care. Hey, I like the song, so I'll just do it myself." And that's what we did. We got the multi-platinum producer Kevin DeClue out of L.A., and he asked a demo. He wanted a demo from me, so I did a demo of that song and sent it to him. He was playing it, and he said it just playing maybe 30 seconds, and people started popping their heads up out of cubicles in the office there and wanting to know who the hell is that. And he said that's when he said he called me about 10 minutes later. He said, I knew right then we got something. He said, we got something, so we need to do a real good recording on this. Javier Garza mixed it. He's the engineer. He's won like 28 Grammys, and he mixed it for us. He lives down in Miami. We wanted somebody out of the box, not the regular country Sting, because they won't mix everything the same, and we want it different. Got to keep everything different, and trying to stay away from the Nashville people, big people, as much as possible on this. And it's worked out for us.
Well, I tell you what, you nailed it, because the damn lyrics alone were enough to send me over the edge, and then the beat, of course, is just.
He was creaming his pants.
I was over the top with it. I mean, that's why I jumped on it and, made that a video, our first video of the week. I never even did anything like that till it's like, I got to do something with this thing. It just says everything. I mean, you can't beat the truth coming out of that song. That's some backwoods redneck trouble right there, if I ever heard any.
Well, we write the truth.
I'm telling you.
Whether it's 3 chords or 4, we're going to put the truth in it. And our next release will be called I Drink Alone, and it's probably one of the saddest songs I guess I've ever done, and I co-wrote it with that Kevin DeClue, and it's so, we got a little bit of help from the band of Aerosmith as far as the music to it.
Cool.
And I think it's going to be real good for us too. They're going to let me do, I think, 5 releases to get everything rolling. So we just taking it from there.
Well, when I heard Barn Burns Down, I mean, the memories just started flowing of the young days, chasing girls and mad boyfriends and all that kind of thing. It's like, my God, it nailed it right to the word. And then my favorite line is, shuck another man's corn, milk another man's cow, wake up in the morning with your barn burned down. It's like, boy, down. You ain't shitting. That's how it works, too, right there.
That's it. It was an old song. I think it was called, I think old John's been shucking my corn. I think it's the only other time that I've heard that line about shucking corn put something like that. I can't remember who did the song. I know it was an old song that my mom and dad listened to and stuff. That might maybe Bobby Bear, maybe somewhere in that area. But, yeah, it's...
Well, I don't get excited about too much, Ain't too much that really makes me want to just get all happy about, but that did it right there. That's one of the few that come through the console here, and I was like, I'm just tickled shitless over that thing.
Well, we played the song live for a year, testing it out, and everybody has always a great reaction with it, and so that's the way the songs that was being released, I have played them in live shows. I always test songs out and throw it to it. If they're clapping their hands, I see their feet tapping or head bobbing or even tears flowing. I know we're doing right.
That's right. Well, Brit, you're awful quiet over there. I know I've been doing all the yakking, but don't get to talk to a hero very often.
Hero?
A hero?
I would just stop by just to listen and
you just like
trying to work out what
you like the stories like I do.
Word you're saying.
I know. I love a good story, and I can understand every word he says. I don't know about you.
When I'm involved in the conversation, I find it hard to sit and listen to the words, parts of the words, to work out what the hell he's trying to say. So I just sit back and just listen, and
then you got a minute to take it in.
Yeah.
Okay, just lay back, chill, relax, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Everything be just fine.
She's English, I'm trying to teach her more American.
I understand. I understand now. Oh, but you're going to hear a lot of different stuff in my songs. And we got another song called Skinny Dipping. We got it. It'll be coming out.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
And it's a lot of that stuff went on there in my teenage years, early 20s. And
yeah, baby, I'm hearing you.
All that good old stuff.
I'm an old hillbilly, man. I got all that old southern blood flowing through me. Just brought up Yankee style is the only difference.
See, there you go.
Most of my family's from West Virginia, and they literally lived up in the hills, back in the hollers, and everywhere else.
Oh, yeah. See? See, you know where I'm coming from.
And
yeah, you got me.
And I did live in Tennessee, outside of Nashville, for about a year or so I got a good taste of that,
right.
too.
Tennessee. Nashville just ain't like Nashville was. It was...
No, nothing close.
I'm just disappointed. Well, I went with a band before, but I wasn't the singer, and we tried to do something, but the problem was we had a good band, a good sound, but my singers, they sounded just like Alabama and looked just like Randy Owen and had that whole thing going on, and I think that just it just hurt. It just killed everything.
Well, I lived there back in the 80s when Vince Gill and Shania Twain and that whole gang from, basically they all became famous in the early 90s, and I met a bunch of them in the bars and stuff, and they were all nobodies then. My girlfriend at the time worked at the truck stop out west of Nashville. Vince Gill used to stop and get his gas there and stuff, and he invited us to go golfing with him and things. And I drove truck for about 20 years. That's how I met the girl. And I spent a night in Nashville. I can't even remember what bar it was, but Shania Twain was in there practicing for her show that night, and she was basically a nobody then. But she come over. I was the only one in there. I went in early. She come over and sat down at the table and had a beer with me, and we bullshit a few minutes. Then she disappeared off into the wilderness, and but it was just people were a whole lot different then than they are now. And like you said, it's changed quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it definitely changed. To me, you got to pay your dues out here playing. And I feel like I've done that over and over again. I had my bass player out for years. He about got divorced over me probably 2 to 3 times over all these women and stuff. He showed when we was playing the strip clubs and things like that. We was playing a strip club out on the coast, and this one gal, she was working her way through college. She was going to give him a lap dance. So she had to give him a lap dance, and she just reached down and bit him right on the neck. I mean, just could not get rid of the teeth prints. It's there. So we was on our way back, and we didn't have the bus or stuff then. We was in a couple of vehicles. We was going down the road, and he goes, you know what happened last time? All my clothes was thrown out in the yard, and I couldn't. It took 2 days for me to get back in and stuff. He goes, she's going to see this. It's over. He goes, I need you to do me a favor. And I said, well, yeah, sure. I'll do what I can. He said, I need you to beat the hell out of me. I said, what? He goes, we pull over. He goes, he's a good tomato stick back there in the back of the bed. He goes, take it and just beat the hell out of me where you can't tell I've been bit. And I said, I can't do that to you. I said, because I like you too much. And he said, either you beat the hell out of me or we're stopping down here at one next bar. He goes, I'm going in and I'm going to start a brawl. And we're all going to liable get arrested or whatever comes of it. He said, but something's going to give or I'm going to lose everything I've got. And we pulled over and I got that. And I felt, I said, man, this is awful solid. He leaned over and bent and he goes, just do it. Just get it over with. I rubbed my head a little bit. I said, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
I reckon.
And, yeah, I flew into him and, saved his marriage. Of course, he was all black and blue and bruised up when I took him home. And, of course, he told her, we got into a brawl at the venue and, sort of got drug into it. And it's just, they living happily ever after.
Just took good ass whipping to get it through him.
Yeah, that was. And he hadn't gotten in one of them situations since.
So you did teach him a lesson.
He got taught a lesson. Yeah, I did too. I said, I don't want to be on the other end of this.
Well, you just got to remember that's what friends are for.
Yeah, that's it. He's a little kin to me too, so that made it even harder.
Yeah. Well, Brit, what do you got? You better let the man go, or too hot for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting pretty toasty in there.
Hey, I'm the hottest one around.
Oh, that's what it is.
Look at my
picture. Nothing is hotter than this Brit sat on this chair right now, literally.
Now, look, have you ever met an entertainer hotter than I am?
Yeah, actually I have.
Well, who?
Robbie Williams. And
Who?
I'll have no arguments from you about that, mister.
Robbie Williams.
Who?
Exactly. You wouldn't know who he is. From Stoke-on-Trent, near me. but he is very, very hot, and he looks hot in his suit too.
Oh, but he didn't set it on fire and wire it, did he?
No, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need.
He
doesn't need to set anything on fire to be hot.
Oh!
In your face.
Oh! No, that was a bloody good one.
Back of the net.
Oh, Lordy.
Now he's going to be searching YouTube, Robbie Williams. He's done a million things. He does. He's a hell of a singer. I give him that, man. He does everything from Sinatra to some good rock.
It's not the kind of music that you do, but it's just something I grew up with.
Well, I've played every kind, but I didn't want to do no more copying. I want to do my own stuff. Just be me. Be me.
So where do we find all your music at?
And who are you?
Mostly on YouTube, or you can find on that #1 music. There's some stuff on Spotify, some iHeart Radio. There's on iTunes. There's an album on my iTunes, but shoot, I ain't collected the first dime on that album yet. All that goes to that old record label, and it's supposed to be, of course, moved on to me. But it's been 4 years, and I ain't seen a drop of that money. But
hey, do you do any Facebook? Have you ever done any Facebook Live stuff?
No, but I'm fixing to. I had my producer just got on me there Friday, wanting me to do that.
Have you watched people do it?
I've seen some, but you got to watch on the Facebook Live, because I don't like doing it in case something goes wrong or anything. You know, you can't.
You can't edit it, can you? You can't get rid of the bad bits.
Yeah. You only get one chance. Here's my firm belief. You only get one chance to make a good first impression.
You think it does any good doing it on Facebook like that? Even though, my opinion is Facebook is starting to go downhill, but...
Right, but...
I could be wrong.
If everything goes smooth, I mean, it's just another way to get out there. I didn't put the whole songs, but I put a couple of new songs out and just let people get a feel of them. That's a couple songs coming on the new album, but... I just didn't want to put the whole songs up, and I think you guys may have a couple of those. I think, and but I still got a couple more to do, and I don't know. It's just I'm a perfectionist. When I do it, I want it right.
Oh, you wouldn't think so.
You know. Yeah, I mean, everybody gonna make mistakes, but in this industry, one mistake can take you right to the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, if you can get up in front of that church and make the pews rock, I reckon you can handle Facebook just fine.
Yeah, I can do it. It's just I don't have no high quality cameras, and stuff like that.
Shit, everybody else is using their cell phone.
Yeah, I know it.
Believe me, you won't catch me doing any Facebook Live. If any Facebook Live comes from the Yankee and the Brit, it is not from the Brit. It is from knob cheese over here.
Well, I thought you was going to do a duet with me,
Oh, yeah?
Oh, she'll sing with you in a minute, but she ain't gonna let nobody see her on camera.
See, we'd have a bloody good time.
Jolly good.
You have been practicing. I'm impressed.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
You're a handful.
We'll let you go, but I sure appreciate the stories and taking a little time to yak with us, and just down-to-earth, good old country boy.
That's it. All you get is straight up. Well,
thank you very much, man, and don't forget us, and keep sending us that music. We love this stuff.
Hey, I appreciate you playing it.
All righty. Take care of yourself, and go get yourself a good cold glass of moonshine.
All righty, will do. Appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Bye.
See you, man. See you.
Here's my man, Pebo Wilson. Barn burns down. Yankee and the Brit. Independence Sunday. I just love this tune. Check it out.
Joe was out in the field one day, shucking corn and baling hay. Here comes Sue, the neighbor's wife, with a glass of tea and a dress too tight. All the women knew all over town Joe had the biggest barn around. He's showing it off through one day. take long till the head caught fire. They ran out as the flames went high. George barely had his pants on yet when the bullet buzzed right by Joe's head. Rumors and embers float all over town. You play with fire, you leave ash on your ground. Lessons we learned are so simple, true yet profound. Chug another man's corn and your barn burns down. You know it happens. Joe was running for his life. Sue should have been there close behind. She ran back to her husband's arms. Can't make no money if you got no barn. Nobody knows what became of Joe. Just disappeared, went up in smoke. Now I'm not saying Sue gets around. Just last week another barn burned down. Rumors and embers float all over town. You play with fire, you leave ash on your ground. Lessons we learned are so simple, true yet profound. Shook another man's corn and your barn burns down. Just like that. Rumors and embers float all over town. You play with fire, you leave ash on the ground. Lessons we learned are so simple, true yet profound. Shook another man's corn, milk another man's cow. Wake up in the morning with your barn burned down. Barn burns down. Barn burns down. Barn burns down.